This is not a time to make a major decision with regards to moving your money, with regards to making a big investment, buying a car, anything to do with values, because it's in Taurus as well. We want to be in contemplation, and we want to notice what's really coming up for shifts and betterment in our life. Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast, where practical spirituality meets real life. Hi, I'm your host, She Tells Story. I'm a psychic medium, grief support counselor, professional astrologer, and a human design reader, and of course, a law of attraction master coach. With my unique blend of spiritual and practical tools, I am here to help you align with your soul-led purpose and ignite a life that sets your soul on fire. In this podcast, we are going to explore the principles of energy, astrology, spirituality, and psychology to help you heal your grief and create an aligned life and business from the inside out. Whether you are looking to deepen your intuition, understand your cosmic design, or transform your business, this podcast is for you. Join me each week for insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories that will guide you on your journey to living your very best life. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at She Tells Story or wherever you listen to this podcast. Let's dive in and start this transformative journey together. Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast. Welcome to the Astro Forecast for the week of February 2nd through to the 8th. February is a big month in the 2026 year. There is a lot shifting. We are going into eclipse season later in the month, and we are going into a new set of eclipses, which means the energy is shifting for the collective. The nodes of the moon, when they are close to the full moon or new moon, is what we call an eclipse in astrology. And those nodes of the moon change every 18 months. So that actually changes like the culture, the energy of what we are excited for and what we're releasing. So what we are moving towards and what we are moving away from. So I will get into that later on in the month as that eclipse comes up and as we start to feel those energy vibes. But just know February is here to change things. The energy is going to be shifting big time. And so if you're noticing that, or you're noticing things are moving in your life and like, oh, okay, this is evolution, my friends. This is why you're here. And the forecast is here to help you understand how to use the energy. So you have free will to do whatever you want with this forecast, probably for the highest and best for all, because that's my intention as I put this out, to help you navigate this energy and flow with it versus fighting it. So let's get started. The energy starts out the week starts out on Monday, February 2nd, in a third quarter phase of the moon in Leo. So we just came off that full moon in Leo on Sunday. And depending on when you're listening to this forecast or watching us, the forecast does come out on the Sunday, but this forecast is for Monday to Sunday. So that full moon in Leo, glorious, bringing a lot of emotions and really helping us to release the parts of us that are keeping us stuck from being seen and heard in our special gifts. So now it's going to be reaping the rewards of all your hard work this week and next week as well before we hit the next new moon. And that's part of this Leo moon cycle, if you will. But the moon moves through the zodiac every 2.5 days. It moves through a new sign. So it will move to a new signs this week. But in this moment in time, it is in Leo. And a Leo moon asks to be seen. It wants to shine its light, right? It wants to be acknowledged, to be witnessed, to be seen, heard, and to be, acknowledged for its contribution. So you just might notice this week that you're a little testy, a little bit annoyed when someone doesn't see you. Or you've done something, you've gone out of your way and you're like, that's a thank you, or you're a welcome, right? I often feel this. I have Venus in Leo. When I let someone in traffic and they don't do the wave, I'm like, I will wave on your behalf. You are welcome, which, that doesn't seem very ego-less, but also I have a Leo Venus, right? So there is that acknowledgement piece. I know that I need that as part of my love language, right? Words of affirmation are important to me. And so my people in my circles, my family knows that this is important to me. And so what do you need for love? What do you need to feel, witnessed and heard? What's your love language? And are you just holding that to yourself and hoping someone will guess? Or are you actually sharing that with people? So You've got to give people the space and opportunity to meet you in your needs as well. Otherwise, it's a guessing game, and then we're going to be in avoidance, right? Something to pay attention to this week. So on Tuesday, February 3rd, is when we have the first aspect of the week, and it is Uranus going direct. So, as I've mentioned before on this podcast, planets go retrograde and direct. And what this just means is retrograde means that it's going slower than the Earth. So planets speed up and slow down in its trajectory around the sun. And when they're slowing down relative to the Earth's speed, it looks like it's going backwards. When we look at it, because it's going slower than us, we are taking it over. It's kind of like when you're in a car and remember as a kid, if you're looking out the window and you look at cars that are going slower than your car is, and it looks like they're going backwards, that's what retrograde motion is. It's going negative relative to the Earth mathematically. So Uranus was going very slow for a period of time, and now it is speeding up once again to go faster than the Earth. Now, usually on the retrograde, when it shifts into direct, it sits on it a degree for a little while. Think of a pendulum, when it's shifting directions, just for a millisecond, it's like almost kind of hovers in air and then it changes direction, right? So it's the same thing with retrogrades. It takes a little bit of time so that it will get, that forward momentum. But what that means is this week, Uranus is going to be kind of stationary direct on the same degree of Taurus. And this is the last time it's going to go retrograde in Taurus because it's going to move into Gemini this year. That's a big, big transit because Uranus takes 84 years to go around the zodiac. So it spends quite a good amount of time in a sign. And it means that it becomes a generational planet. So all the babies born in the next 10 years are going to have this aspect of Uranus in a sign. So for you, where Uranus is in your birth chart, you will share Uranus in that placement with multiple people in over a generation. So what this means is this is going to bring a little bit of instability. So Uranus is the planet of change, rebelliousness, rebellions, chaos. It is here to change things. It's also technology, innovation, but it's in the innovation to make things better to benefit humanity, right? For more efficiency. Uranus is actually the higher octave of Mercury. Mercury is the mind, a thought processing. So Uranus is genius energy, right? When we think about it. So Uranus changing signs, or saying changing direction in Taurus, this is going to shift things for you, or notice where you need to shift things in money, security, values, your resources, and stability and momentum is going to shift a bit here, right? So let's say you haven't been really paying attention to your budgets or your money, and you've been sort of not opening your mail. Now there's going to be a reckoning. The wrecking ball, in essence, the wrecking ball technically is Pluto, but Uranus is about shifting change for the better. So this can bring sudden clarity and what no longer feels sustainable in your life. And you may feel called to do things differently in practical areas in your life. This is a wonderful energy this week to innovate, to contact a certified financial planner, to go over your expenses and see where you could be doing things in a more alignment with your values. This is going to be a week that's going to really ask you to step up in the areas of your values, your goals, your money, your resources. And are you planning for long-term gain, or have you just been living in momentum? In the moment. That's the word I'm looking for. To live in the moment and having instant gratification versus long-term sustainable living, right? This is just going to show you, this podcast, that I am 100% not AI. just saying. There's going to be a little bit of flub ups because I'm having a Mercury transit in this moment, and technology and words are just not coming easily to me in this moment. Always a great time to record a podcast, right? During a Mercury transit for myself, and we will power through. Thank you for your patience. I'm not AI. All right, Thursday, February 5th, we have Mercury square to Uranus. This is going to feel like a Mercury retrograde, y'all. This aspect can bring sudden news, unexpected conversations, mental restlessness, also breakdowns in communication, haywire technology. Uranus rules technology, and Mercury rules the mind and communication in emails and the letter, the mail system, postal system. So this is about going with the flow, going with the flow and seeing what ingenious things come to light, what comes to awareness now that never would have otherwise. So this is a time to just, again, expect the unexpected. I know many of you hate that hate that line, and this is a week that will embody that, because this squaring aspect is going to be in this kind of tight relationship for a little while. So this aspect can bring sudden news. As I mentioned, conversations may be blunt or surprising. It's important to pause before reacting and making impulsive decisions. So, this is not a time to make a major decision with regards to moving your money, with regards to making a big investment, buying a car, anything to do with, values, because it's in Taurus as well. We want to be in contemplation, and we want to notice what's really coming up for shifts and betterment in our life. So, you can use this in your highest and best for outside the box thinking, right? What's a solution that's presenting itself now that you never would have had access to if you didn't have these circumstances happening this week? So everything is happening for an opportunity. I really want you to hear that. And do not make impulsive decisions. Also, be really careful with who you're sending texts about to, who you're gossiping about, where your emails are going. Are they actually going somewhere? And there's going to be a lot of tech disruptions on this day. So plan an extra, set of patience in your bag with you. Just plan some patience. Now, Mercury also rules travel. So if you are traveling on this day or this week, pack an extra book, back up everything. Do not just go on the fly, right? You're going to have to be very aware of your surroundings and be prepared. Also on Thursday, we have the Sun in Aquarius in conjunct to Jupiter. So Sun is our vitality and Jupiter is expansion, optimism, and good luck. And an in conjunct means we need to adjust these two things to come together for genius or a gift opportunity. So this energy can highlight mismatch between personal growth goals and emotional needs, because Jupiter is in retrograde in Cancer. Cancer is about our emotions, our safety, our nurturing, our nest, our innermost foundations. So you may feel pulled between expanding outward or tending to the home and family. So for us women entrepreneurs, this is a day where, your family needs and your business needs seem at odds. But we are here, especially if you are a mother in this lifetime, your children must come first. So the business must come second when there is an emergency, when they need you. And that also brings us insights, because where in our business is it too dependent on us? Where do we have clients that don't understand when we have a personal emergency? I can tell you that I don't have clients. Number one, I don't reschedule people very often. It has to be super, an emergency. I honor my timetable and my clients' timetables. But when I have to, it is an emergency, and the only real response I ever get is, I'm so sorry, I hope everything's okay, yes, let's reschedule, send me dates. That is it. And that's really the only appropriate response. That's the response I would give as well, because family is a number one value for me. So if my family needs me, that is where I need to be. And this is going to show you today where you're out of alignment with your values, right? So this is going to feel like this tug of war, but it's actually not. It's a hierarchy of values, and you're being asked to prioritize your values. So be careful for overcommitting or overgiving, because it will lead to exhaustion, overwhelm, and burnout. Jupiter is the expansion, optimism, good luck planet, but it touches whatever it touches, it expands. So if you are an overgiver, I'm speaking because I know these things because I've lived it, is that, you're always going to be tested. And these are one of those weeks that you're going to be tested. Did you overschedule yourself? Is your family now needs you? Where are you going to put people? And how can you accommodate them with it still feeling good for you too? You're not doing this at a disadvantage for yourself because you're rescheduling because something happened. Something happened, and that's okay. We all get to accommodate that because that's business, that's life. right? I've had doctors reschedule on me, dentists reschedule on me, and that's because they weren't well. Like, I really trust the judgment of the experts that I go to. So if they don't have the capacity to see me that day because they're sick, because something's happening with their family, because they have to fly somewhere because someone died, good. Like, it's okay. Not good that it happened, but good that you're not seeing me, because I want to see you when you're in full capacity and wholeness of what you can give to me within the context of that client patient relationship. So on Friday, February 6th, we have Mercury now moving into Pisces. So when it moves out of a cerebral sign like Aquarius into Pisces, we can feel very sensitive, very emotionally vulnerable. This is a time when communication becomes intuitive, emotional, and imaginative. Logic gives ways to feeling based understanding. So this is about empathy, intuition, being sensitive to emotion, and emotional intelligence. The emotional intelligence meaning that your emotions are bringing you intelligence. So pay attention to what your emotions are saying. I recently had a DM from an amazing human that we were going back and forth on a voice note conversation. And something I said kind of brought up emotion for her. And she said, "I don't know why I'm crying." And I was like, "Ooh, I know why you're crying. You just don't want to sit with it." So I said, if you sit with it long enough, you'll understand what that emotion was bringing up for you. And then I said, what was the emotion about? What happened? What triggered that emotion to come up from you? Because it was a very loving conversation. And it came out in the conversation, but had she not sat with it, she would have just glossed over it, because she is a powerful woman that just wants to get on with it and move to the next thing. And I was like, no, this is emotional intelligence, true emotional intelligence. So boundaries around communication will become very important, but boundaries around energy. When we go into Pisces season, this is the beginning, it's already starting. When the sun moves into Pisces later this month, there's boundaries are so a Pisces theme and life lesson. So pay attention to that. Where are you feeling everybody else's stuff and not giving them the opportunity to tell you how they're feeling? And then finally, Sunday, February 8th, we have Venus square to Uranus. Now, this is a shakeup in finances and relationships. This can feel unpredictable. So if sudden shifts in desire, attraction, or values may surface. This is not a good day to cut your bangs. It's not a good day to get a tattoo. This is not a good day to break up with your spouse or your significant other. This is a day to notice what is coming to the surface for intelligent moves down the road. So pay attention, because Uranus shakes up things to either make it better or break it apart if it's done and it's no longer viable, right? So this aspect is asking for honesty and what no longer aligns for you. Refresh relationships with truth and flexibility. Be careful to make abrupt decisions or emotional detachment now. You really want to be very introspective. That Mercury in Pisces is going to make you very sensitive. And how can you use that sensitivity to help you understand what's coming up for you to be healed? So Venus square to Uranus is bringing up something to your awareness that needs to shift, right? In your beauty, aesthetics, money, values, the resources, the way that you use your resources. Time is a resource too, right? So this is about understanding what is coming, being shaken to the surface. Spirit just showed me a sieve and like shaking out all the things that are like all the garbage in your life that is done. That could be patterns, that could be relationships, that could be ways you're using your money. But whatever that is for you, I'm sending you so much love. And this week is going to bring you dividends in the future. This is the hard work this week for what we're stepping into later in the month. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Remember, you get to use this for your highest and best. Pay attention to what's showing itself to you, and now start to use your tools, your introspection, your healing to pick what you truly want, because you're manifesting in every moment. What are you believing to be true? What is the outcome you desire? And how do you want to feel? Have a great week. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Story of Spirit podcast. I hope you have found inspiration, support, and practical insights to help you align with your soul-led purpose and live a life that sets your soul on fire. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Your support helps us to reach more listeners and continues to provide valuable content. I sincerely appreciate every share, and I know it is how most people find me. It is because caring people like you have shared me with them at the right and perfect time. For more resources, insights, and to connect with our community, please visit us at www.shetellstory.com and follow us on Instagram at shetellstory. Remember, your journey to a more aligned and vibrant life is just the beginning, and I am here to support you every step of the way. Until next time, stay aligned, stay inspired, and keep shining your beautiful light. This is She Tells Story, signing off from the Story of Spirit podcast. Here's the legalese that's required by our lawyers. This podcast and the YouTube channel represents the opinions of She Tells Story and her guests to the show. The content should not be taken as medical, psychological, or financial advice. This series is informational and entertainment purposes only. Because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional, your mental health dream team, your financial advisor, or anyone else that's an expert in the field in where you are thinking of making big choices in your life.